welcome to this week's Karma Yoga. My name is Kirsten, and today the props you'll be using are a few pillows, and maybe if you have a scarf, it's not necessary, but if you would like to, oh, sorry about I had some music in the background and it changed from meditative to quite a upper tempo. So this is what you get for live. So a strap or a towel or like I've got a little sarong. This isn't, like I said, necessary, but it can help. So while you are getting your props ready, in Yin Yoga, as many pillows that you have, the better. Just because it allows you to, I don't know, maybe get more comfortable into a pose. And then while I wait for everyone to get their props, I would like to encourage you to think of a good deed you intend to do this week, as this is Karma Yoga, so it's always encouraged to do a good deed in almost like an energy exchange for the lives that I plan. So an example of a good deed that I did this week, or that I intend to do, is when I went to the hardware store on Saturday or Sunday, they gave me a discount because they could see I was a little stressed, and the man who helped me, and he gave me a discount, which was very nice, his employee discount. And that store always does, like, out of the normal things. They always care. And so my good deed is to write a good review. And my suggested good deed to you then is to write a good review for a local business. It always helps to do that. I think we always tend to want to write a review when it's negative. So to do something positive is always nice. So having that being said, I hope you've got your props ready and we can get ready for the first pose. So you can sit on a pillow to bring your hips slightly up if it feels uncomfortable to sit with your legs straight out in front of you. And then place a pillow underneath your knees. And then you can also place a pillow on top of your thighs. This is where the strap, scarf, or just something that could keep you a little bit more passive than active in a pose would be beneficial. So if you've made a loop with it, you can just place your head to put a little bit of strain and have this nice seated pose with your toes flexed back. And relax your head as close as possible to the pillow. Lengthen through your spine, so push firmly into your sit bones here. So you still feel some stability and strength from the bottom. Close your eyes. If you would like, you can also grab hold of the strap, or a strap if it's not long enough to go around your head, and pull on it just a little bit to allow that hinge from the hips. Take a few breaths here. You might find that as you breathe, you're still lengthening and pushing firmly into your seat. And as you exhale, you might even be able to grab closer towards your feet on your strap. Again, if you aren't using a strap and you just want to sit on the pillow and either reach for your toes or bend your elbows and rest your head on your hands, that's also very possible. It just depends where you're at today, really. You might even want to stack an extra pillow on top of your pillow. Just check in with your breath here. In Yin Yoga, we stay in a pose for about 3 to 5 minutes, which increases our flexibility, relaxes our nervous system, and just feels good. If you're thinking, or if your hardest part of yin yoga is to distract the mind, try and think of an intention for today, something you want to draw into your life more. Remember to relax your shoulders. Just sit in the pose. Mm. Take one more inhale. See if you can push again firmly into your sit bones, stretching down the back of your knees as it pushes firmly into that pillow, flexing your toes back. And then on your next exhale, open your mouth and just sigh all of that energy out. Do one more conscious inhale. Feel your belly inflate just slightly. Open that mouth and sigh it out. On your next inhale, you can release your hands wherever it is, or remove the strap from your head if it was, and slowly just roll or curl your back up to come to a straight seat. Remove the pillow that was on top of your thighs, and I'm going to show you the next pose, and you can decide from there what kind of way you want to do with your props. So with your right foot out flexed, you can keep the pillow underneath your knee or remove it depending on the level that you are looking for. Again, the same applies with the pillow underneath your hips. So take your left foot and bend it back behind you into almost this L shape. So you'll feel a little unbalanced. That's where you can either roll up. If you know you're going to feel unbalanced, it's nice to do that before you move. So you can place a pillow where it would be underneath your right hip and then roll that left leg back, and then you'd feel more level, or I guess whatever you want to call it, squared off. And then if you would like to turn it into a forward fold and you have your strap, your towel, your band, your anything, you can place it around your head, dropping your shoulders down, almost puffing your chest forward, releasing your hands either palms facing up to receive or down to ground, flexing those right toes back towards your face, and stay here in a nice, steady, and comfortable hold. If you would like a different variation, you're more than welcome to reach your hands forward using the strap if that's comfortable. If you have extra pillows, you can place it on top of that thigh again, and even at an angle where you can place your head. Anything that feels good for you in that moment, and just sitting into it and acknowledging where you're at. So if you're feeling any pain in that left knee, just make any adjustments. And just relax here. I almost wish my strap was a little bit tighter. I'm in the transition of moving and I haven't been able to really set up the space yet. So a nice neck stretch also is very nice and comfortable in this pose. You'll also find that if you are either leaning forward, you're stretching that right leg more. But if you're sitting back into the pose with your spine straight and your hips even, you'll feel it more on that left leg or left hip, lower back area. So wherever you have sensitivities or your goals are, you can make those adjustments. And because we are holding it for quite some time, you might even go between the two. Just relaxing your neck and your jaw. reminding yourself of your intention for today. If you need a distraction, you can always focus on your inhale, pushing firmly into the ground beneath you, lengthening up from your spine. And then as you exhale, if you're folding forward, you can fold deeper. And if you're just sitting up straight, you can just enjoy that exhale as you see your chest fall. Always like to bring some movement to the face, so feel free to make circles with your mouth, scrunch your nose, a little bit of face yoga here. Might come to a yawn as we get ready for the evening. Take one more inhale, lengthen up, and then as you exhale, you can release whatever variation you've chosen. Our next pose is going to be a deer pose. So if it felt comfortable to keep this, you are more than welcome to. You might find that the front pillow that's underneath your knee won't be as important. So I'm going to need this pillow for a different, to make it better. But you take that right leg, the front one, and just bend it so that you're in almost like a windshield wiper kind of motion, or yeah, motion, look, feel. And then as you inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling, follow it with your gaze, and then exhale, turn over to the right side, and then lower your hands onto the pillow behind you as you bring a nice stretch into this deer pose. Keep your feet flexed and active on both sides. And then looking back behind you to the back of the room, dropping your shoulders down and away, feeling that nice side stretch. If it feels comfortable and you want to use the other pillow, you are more than welcome to lower your elbows down, so you can make any adjustments to make it a deeper stretch here. A different way you can also try this pose, if you do have that looped strap scarf situation, is place it onto that left foot, and then again you would attach it to your head as you go down. So if you struggle to reach your elbows down and you still want that deep twist, you can use it that way to almost give you that push and pull tension, keeping your spine still relatively straight and active, and then you'll feel it more in that inner thigh as you twist over. Again, it's dealer's choice, so whatever you feel comfortable with. And then you might even find you can lower. It actually helps to eliminate the whole pillow situation. And that's the beautiful thing about yin, is you can try all different variations. We are here for quite some time. Pushing firmly into whatever's touching the ground at the moment. So starting from that left foot and knee, pushing quite firmly, and you'll feel that stretch in the inner thigh. Then the right foot and knee pushing firmly into the mat, followed by your hips. You'll feel maybe that the left hip is slightly up. If you have another pillow, you're more than welcome to place one under there so you can also push firmly into that. And then in your hands or your forearms or wherever it is that you're at that is touching the mat in your upper body, dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Trying to hug your shoulder blades in towards each other. That'll encourage a push forward of your chest a little bit. Inviting a nice long breath in. And then try and exhale out your nose just a little bit longer than what the inhale was. Putting an emphasis at the end where your belly hugs in toward your spine. Take one more inhale, feel a lengthen and a push in all surfaces. Looking back behind you. And then as you exhale, you can remove whatever props you have, come back up and center to look towards the front of your mat. You can remove the pillow that's underneath your hip if you would like, but first see how this pose feels. So keeping your right foot flexed and active. It is pigeon pose, so sometimes it can be quite intense. I like to keep a straight kind of figure four look. If that is too intense for you, you bring your foot in toward your groin area. You'll feel it once and make that adjustment once we get into the pose. But again, use it however you like. So take your hands and place it on the front of your feet, your right foot. So it's almost as if you're framing your hand with your foot, and you're using your leg as well as a frame or a nice squared off. And this is also a good way to train to do the traditional pigeon pose that is quite intense. So push firmly into your hands. Actually feel your shoulders lifting you up and taking all the weight from what's in your hips. Lean forward so you can lift that right hip up, and then take your left leg all the way to the back, straight behind you. Your foot untucked here, and then see if you can lower back onto the pillow if you have uneven hips, or it might feel better to do that to square yourself off. If you are already squared off and you don't need it, you can remove the pillow or take it another side. Then grab another pillow and place it in front of you. So inhale, lift your arms up, and then as you exhale, engage your core and slowly lower down onto the pillow. So if your edge is here, you can't go any more, stay here. If you feel like you can get deeper into the pose, you are more than welcome to relax onto your hands or onto your pillow, keeping that right foot flexed. That's where this variation, if you feel like your front leg is not, it's like too deep of a stretch, then you do just bring this foot in towards the groin area. If it's okay, straight in that squared off position, then that's great. And then you might even feel once you're on your forearms that you tuck in your left foot and just making a readjustment to, again, square off and then lower down. And just checking in with your breath here. Enjoying the stretch. Remember, if you find your edge, is mostly when you're in the orange zone. Once you reach that red and you're in pain, stop, make an adjustment, add some pillows, either under your hip, under your knee, under your forearms. Make sure to relax your face here and observe your breath. Breathing through any discomfort. It's like that saying, everything in life is uncomfortable, whether it's if you're healthy, it's uncomfortable because you have to be disciplined and do stuff you don't like, or that's just challenging to do. And then if you're unhealthy, it's also uncomfortable. So you're just choosing the best uncomfortable for you in this moment. Just a few more seconds. Releasing whatever emotions you might have in your hips. I know you shouldn't have pride in yoga, but if I've cried during a class, I almost feel like I reached some sort of like goal from yoga, if that makes sense. Take one more inhale, feel that belly inflate. And then as you exhale, you can push firmly either into your forearms or come back onto your arms. And then swing that left leg back to the front. We're going to do a double figure four. So if you know that it doesn't sit comfortably with your knee stacked on top like this, you're more than welcome to grab a pillow and then place that left foot on that right knee, and then the left knee on the right foot, so it's stacked on top of each other like that. You can stack as many as you like. The indication to know if you need to stack pillows is if you try to do it without the pillow and your knee can't go all the way down and you have a little bit of space here. Not everyone is atomically the same, so for some people it might be easier and others not. So at this point, you can remove the extra pillow underneath your hip if you are lopsided so that you do feel nice and sturdy. It's always nice to feel sturdy in a pose. It's your roots, it's your grounding, it's like a base. If you don't have a great base on a tree or a pyramid or a mountain, it's going to fall. So, keeping your foot flexed, both feet flexed, and then resting your or stacking your knee on top of your foot, and then vice versa on the other side. Again, putting a pillow there. Then grab another pillow and place it on top of the left foot or then thigh or leg. And at this point, I am going to do a forward fold both times, but the next time we do it, you can alternate. So if you want 2 pillows, 3 pillows, 5 pillows, however many pillows until you can either sit comfortably like this or rest your head on your hands just to apply a little bit of extra pressure onto your knee to stack over. Again, if it feels painful and you don't want to put any pressure on, you can place your hands behind your back and just sit slightly backwards with your chest puffed and your head lifted up if that feels more comfortable and inviting for you. Staying very relaxed in this upper body as well. It doesn't feel nice if you're really putting tension on one part to have both. At least you can pay attention to that one part, breathe through it, smile because you're doing something good for yourself, and enjoy the nice stretch. Take one more inhale If you are folded forward, you can rise up. If your hands are behind and you're putting pressure on it, just lift up, putting all of your pressure into those hips. Remove the pillows from the top of your leg. And then bring your right leg across your mat to almost the center, and then bring your left to stack your knee on top of it. If you'd like to adjust better, you can grab opposite elbow, lift your hips, and almost wiggle from side to side until you get that nice stack. Again, if your knees aren't stacking and there's some space, you just shove a pillow in between wherever it is that you need and stay with it. Then grab a pillow and place it on top of that left knee and thigh. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling, push firmly into your sit bones again. Maybe readjust your pillow if you have one underneath you. And then bring your right arm across your chest and your left underneath and grab your hands like this into a nice eagle. If you'd like to make it a more passive eagle, maybe stack another pillow so that you can actually place your elbows onto the pillow, and it'll automatically bring your elbows up so that you're facing, your hands are directly in front of your face. And just stay here for a few breaths, stretching your back, feeling the back of your spine just opening up, activating your shoulders here, dropping them down. Pushing firmly into your sit bones and also your 2 feet, and you'll feel your length, just your spine just lengthen up, even if it's half a centimeter or inch, depending where you're watching from. Taking nice breaths in and out. Reminding yourself of that intention all over again. Maybe even think of a local business that you want to write that review for. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, you can release your hands. Maybe just stretch out a little by bending your elbows, giving yourself a hug, moving the pillows, and then taking your legs back out in front of you. You might want to wiggle your knees a little bit and bring some energy back to your feet. So take another pillow, or take a pillow and place it underneath your left knee. And then again, doing the same variations that we did the last time. So to try and even your hips, you are more than welcome to make the adjustments, but you're going to keep that left foot flexed, facing up towards you. Take the right leg and bend it behind you. So I can already feel I'm unstable. So I'm going to put a pillow underneath my left hip and then bend my leg back. So you can either lean forward, so inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, lean forward towards either touching your foot, your ankle, your shin, or just resting your elbows here onto the pillow. You can also take the looped makeshift strap that you have, put it on the ball of your foot so that you're not having any tension on the arc or arch, and pull if you want to use it as a strap, keeping your chest forward and your chin face towards your flexed toes, almost as if you're drawing a line with your toes. And alternatively, if you would like a very passive or non-strenuous stretch, you can also just hook it around your head and place your hands up, keeping that squared off, and then feeling the stretch in a completely different place. Instead of onto that left knee, you're feeling it more on the right leg. Relaxing your jaw here and your eyes. And what's nice is you can always choose what variation you like and adjust as you go. So after a minute or two and it feels uncomfortable, you just switch over to a different variation of the pose that might feel better. My main focus in this pose today is to try and drop that right hip down just a little bit more. This is one of the stretches that when I don't have props, it's quite challenging for me to do. So it's always nice to practice these kinds of stretches, the ones that challenge us, choosing my level of uncomfort or discomfort. I don't know, maybe you can actually comment in the video. Is it uncomfort or discomfort? Or both? Inhale and feel that lengthen and pushing down through every surface touching the mat or a pillow. If you're folding forward, exhale and reach even more forward than what you had. Inhale one more time. And then on your exhale, you can release the strap wherever it is. And then remove the pillow underneath your left knee. And then bring your left foot to a bend so that it's coming towards that right knee but not actually touching. And then if you have this leg lifting up, you can place a pillow underneath it. However, we're going to do that same pose where we twist over to the side. So if you use this, your other pillow, if you have more, great. If you have limited, just choose if you want it to be behind you so that when you reach over, you can lower your elbows down, or face it up in a way that your head is reaching. Or if you have limited pillow and you want it underneath your knee, you're more than welcome to. And then also grab the strap belt if you wanted to as well, to place onto that right leg if you wanted that less active kind of stretch to place onto your head as you look to the side or towards the back of you into the stretch, placing your hands behind you or on your elbows if you've chosen that stretch. This side for some reason feels actually a lot more comfortable than the other, so I'm going to opt to do this kind of stretch where I'm on my forearms and my elbows. Remember to keep space between your ears and your shoulders. Just relax your head wherever it lays or is or falls. And it helps to focus your gaze to the back of the room, almost even as if you're trying to look towards the back right foot. If you can see it, you can wiggle your toes as a brief hello. Taking a few breaths here. Feeling your belly expand, and as you exhale, you might push more into that right hip, which will allow you to stretch and look even further behind you. Taking nice steady breaths here. We've got another minute, so breathe through it. Enjoy the feeling, the stretch. Enjoying this inhale and exhale, and just being a silent observer of where you're at today. Maybe you're observing that one side definitely feels different to the other. Which side was easiest? Maybe it'll help you understand the way you walk, or just patterns you have in your body that you don't always know or are aware of. Take one more inhale. Push firmly into your elbows if you're on your elbows, or into your hands. And then as you exhale, release and face back to center. I'm sure you must be feeling your hips and enjoying it, hopefully. Take one more inhale, lift your chest up, and then as you exhale, turn to the other side of your deer pose. So instead of facing the left side, reach over, and you might even need to touch your right foot, knee, thigh, and just look over your right shoulder into a nice counter twist. Relaxing your eyes and your mouth, all of your face muscles really. So you can start with your forehead and eyebrows, then your eyes, your nose, and your tongue. Taking nice, beautiful inhales, pushing firmly into your hips here. And then as you exhale, see if you can look even further behind you. Just putting more effort or weight onto that right hip. Really gives a nice counter pose. It's going to help us get ready for the next pose, which will be pigeon. It's good to enjoy. To get ready for our transition, keep your left feet flexed, or your left foot, sorry, flexed. I meant your left toes. That's where the plural came in. Keep your left toes flexed back almost to the left side of the room. And then we're going to do that thing where we frame our hands with our feet or our left leg. So it's interesting. On this side, my knee sticks out a little bit more. So if you want to focus on getting the right alignment of what the pose should look like, and you were happy to do that on the other side. If not, and before you had your foot in towards your groin, then you don't need to make this adjustment. Only if you want that deeper stretch where you can inch your foot up so that it does frame, and it's almost as if your right pinky is being framed or almost touching your left foot's toes. And then inhale, lift your right knee up and walk it back behind you. And then you can even lift your hip for a little bit of an adjustment. If you would like, you can add a pillow underneath your hip on either side. And then grab a pillow and place it in front of you. Inhale, push firmly into your hands, puffing your chest forward. And then as you exhale, tuck in your core and slowly roll down either onto your forearms, onto your hands, or even onto the pillow, resting your head. If you are feeling any tension or strain on that left leg or hip or anywhere within the left area, you're more than welcome to tuck your toe in, your legs or your foot in, closer towards, like I said, your groin area. And just relax that upper body. You don't want to put any pressure on there, especially with an intense pose. Enjoying long inhales and even longer exhales. Calm our nervous system and remind your body that it's okay. We're doing this on purpose. You're not in stress. You might find that with every inhale, you can push more firmly into the parts of your body touching a surface. And then as you exhale, you can surrender even more into the pillow or the mat, wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. If you're doing this live, you might feel the time and start to feel sleepy. I hope you have decided to do this with a dim light, maybe a few candles, and some nice music in the background. It's the best time to do it. Nice midweek break. Take one more inhale. Push firmly into your elbows or hands, wherever you were. And then exhale, lift up. And then bring that back leg forward to do the same stacking. So if you can bring your right foot on top of your left knee and your left knee fits and stacks comfortably over that, the right knee, sorry, is comfortably stacked onto the left foot. You get what I mean. Then you can do that. Otherwise, if it is reaching or lifting up, you just place a pillow so that it has something to rest on. And then you can place another pillow on top of that knee or the leg. And if you have extra pillows, you can stack another one on top so that you're bringing the ground closer to you. To again, if you did in the first one lean forward and it doesn't feel as comfortable, you can also reach behind you, bringing your shoulder blades up, well, towards each other, pushing your chest up, and then look slightly up towards the ceiling, and then enjoying a breath. So whichever one that works for you, even if you're just sitting nice and comfortably, pushing onto those pillows or sitting nice and firm. If you don't want that weight pushing and it hurts, that's where we find what works for us. It's always a nice time to do yin. I don't know. Even when you have no energy, it's almost like too easy. Although it's never easy, you're still doing something for your body that could be challenging. Relaxing your gaze, and maybe when you think of your intention today, you might think if it's a receiving intention, your palms facing up. If it's a grounding intention, your palms facing down. Or even if your head is placed on the pillow and your hands are down, reaching the mat and the ground. Again, it's so nice to have different variations and try different things. Maybe if you want a different stretch, you can grab opposite elbow behind your back to give you a little bit of a stretch in your lower body or upper body. I guess it's in both parts of our body. You might find that with every inhale you push firmly into your sit bones, and with every exhale you can release and lower your head even more into the pillow. Or you don't want to suffocate yourself with the pillow, you can bring one ear to the pillows if you're sleeping on your pillow. Take one more inhale. Lift your head off the pillow if it was on. Release whatever upper arm variation you used. Exhale and take the pillows away from your legs on top and on the bottom. Lift your right leg up and see if you can bring it to stack over your left. So you might even want to bring your left knee a little bit more towards the center of the mat. Grab opposite ankle, lift up and just shimmy from side to side until you find your comfortable seat. Wherever you have space in between your legs, just place a pillow there and it will feel 100 times more comfortable. And then you can also stack your pillows on top of each other so that when we do our eagle arms, that it's easier or higher than our chest, closer to our face, to give us that bigger stretch. So inhale, lift your arms up, and then as you exhale, this time have your left arm your left arm underneath your right. So the last time we had the right over the left, this time do the other side. And then just relax your elbows into the pillow. I actually think it was the other side. You'll know what it feels like and what you did the first time. And just swap your arms over into this eagle. And just enjoy it. Dropping your shoulders down, giving that slight round in your spine if you want to really stretch your spine out. But it's also nice to hug your shoulder blades in, keeping your spine slightly active, and you might even find your weight moves back and more firmly into your sit bones, giving you that like stability that we mentioned before. enjoying this nice long inhale. And maybe open your mouth and sigh it out. Let's do one more of those. Inhale. Open your mouth and sigh it out. A couple more seconds here. Pushing firmly into both feet, which also will lift up your spine naturally. Take one more inhale, feel your belly expand, and then as you exhale, you can release your hands, remove the pillows, and take your legs out from whatever they were. Maybe put it in a butterfly, bringing the soles of the feet together, and just shaking out your arms here and bringing any movement that feels right for you. We're going to get ready for Shavasana, so I like to give at least, to make it a full hour, so another 8 minutes of Shavasana. Feel free to play some relaxing music, put the lights off, grab a blanket. So firstly, you would like a pillow, I'm sure, underneath your head, so you can place it at the top of your mat. And then another pillow you can place underneath your knees. If you'd like to do a different Shavasana today, you're more than welcome to keep the butterfly legs and then just place pillows underneath your knees as you're sleeping, or in corpse pose, so almost sleeping. You're really relaxed. If you are pregnant, then you will lie on your side with the pillow between your legs. So get into a nice comfortable Shavasana, where I will meet you on the ground. You can place your hand, if you are in butterfly pose, maybe one hand on your belly, one on your heart, or just relaxing beside you on the ground or mat. Again, the same principle of grounding or receiving. Breathe in your intention now and say it either in your head or out loud as a firm affirmation. And then as you exhale, start to relax every muscle in your body. So we usually do from the feet up, but let's start from the top down. So as you inhale, think of an energy, and then as you exhale, bring that energy of relaxation to your forehead, the back of your head, pushing or relaxing into the mat and the pillow. And then on your next exhale, relax all the tension in your mouth and your jaw, your tongue. If you're very imaginative, you can think of your teeth. On your next exhale, relax your throat. On your inhale, you'll feel the rise of your chest. And when you exhale, relax those shoulders, almost like a weight pulling you into the mat. Releasing those eagle arms. On your next exhale, relax your shoulders and your upper arms, followed by your elbows and your hands. Let your fingertips just fall and feel free. Relax your lower spine, your hips. Relax your belly and your knees and your thighs, your calves, and ankles. Relax your feet. Enjoying a few moments here of silence. And I'll give you the cue in the next 4 minutes to get out. Just let everything sink in from today. You can slowly start to bring your awareness back to the mat and into the room by wiggling your toes and maybe your fingers. And then, depending what variation you chose in Shavasana, you can bring your knees together and then hug them in towards your chest, wrapping your arms around them maybe rocking from side to side. If you have any other last stretches you feel you need, you can do it now. If it's a full body stretch or happy baby, you might find that as you rock from side to side, you might have a side that intuitively feels right to you, and just roll over onto it into a nice fetal position. Taking one long inhale here, and then as you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. You can take your hand that's on the top hand, the top arm, and just push firmly into it to bring yourself into a seated pose. And then in your own time, you're not in a rush. Once you find that seat, sit quite firmly where you even lift or push your weight towards the back of your seat so you're not pushing over your knees or legs, and you have this straight line. Inhale, bring your palms up towards the ceiling, palms to touch, and as you exhale, bring your hands down into a prayer pose. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you next week. Namaste.